Have you ever had that day or like that moment where like I get it when I'm in like a really flowing state. Like when I set my morning up well, I'm in a really flow state. I'm not thinking about anything else. My day is just unfolding. And sometimes you catch yourself in action before you even realize you chose something. Like, for example, like I'll just be like, 3/4 of the way through my day, I've done so many things and I'm like, oh, I didn't remember making any of those choices. Like I'm just out here doing it. Do you have these days where you're just in flow state and like the decisions have been made for you? You're just moving along, you're clear-minded, and it's almost like you're being controlled in a way. Something else is making your decisions for you. You're just flowing along with whatever's meant to be happening. Do you have those days?
I'm trying to now be more conscious about what I'm doing in my day to day. But once I'm conscious, I take my decision of what I'm going to do more in the vibration that I'm feeling of the day. So I don't know if it will be something similar that you're explaining me, but what I have been learning to do with the years is more be conscious about my energy to just flow with the day, like you're saying, but kind of understanding where it's kind of flowing.
Yeah. Oh, so I guess you're trying to take note of where it's going to that day.
Exactly. It's more like, okay, my vibration energy today is low. It's like I kind of that flowing that I want to see where this leads me, blah blah. But I know that today is more in a lower day, or today is like completely in a high day, and like you say, and today I'm just here and here, and for example, even I dressed up according to whatever I feel in that day, and they let it unfold like you said,
Yeah.
But just if in the morning, I always take this time to write and see how is my energy feeling for today.
So in the morning it is important to you to reflect on where you're at as you've woken up.
Yes, I really like to see how I'm feeling. Even if I have a dream, I like to write it. Like if I see that it's kind of a crazy dream, I like to write it down, because you never know when sometimes in dreams they kind of show us some crazy things as well. As well, like if somebody kind of have seen oracles and they call their attention, I like to take an oracle card once in the morning, just to know what message from my guides are trying to tell me. Like this, I know what I have to be what energy is on my favor today. Like this, I can use it, or what I have to be reminded. If it's a challenging situation, I remember the card that was showing me in the day. Like this kind of boosts me into that situation.
So I've had this conversation before with some friends of mine who I travel with regularly. And there was two of us who were very like having the conversation about it. My mum really loves this kind of stuff as well. And I've also seen the utility in drawing cards and I guess using their message to help you make positive decisions or decisions about what you need to do. And there was two of my friends in the conversation who were the total other side of it, where they didn't think it was a wise choice for people to constantly be moving by the choice of cards. And there was this experience where we had a huge, long conversation about it. It got very heated at times. And I guess like sometimes it can be hard to see the utility. And what they saw was that it probably wouldn't work if everyone in the world made their choices based on cards. But what I tried to explain to the guys was that people aren't making their full-blown choices based on which card they pull. Sometimes they're just using them to help them engage with more positive energy, to connect with others, to perhaps get some guidance on what they could or should do. And obviously there's a part of common sense that comes into that. Like if the card tells you, like you're not going to ask like, should I go and like do this dangerous thing? And the card says, yes, you go do it. You're like, well, hang on a minute. It's about the way you interpret what you pull that's useful, right? It's sometimes it's not the direct message of the card, it's more the understood message of the card.
Yes, like you have to lead a lot with your intuition. I definitely believe that you cannot let the cards take your power, because at the end of the day, you are the one that make the choices. I do believe that we have guides, that everybody has guides that we can ask for, and they can come and help us. So what I do when I need to take a decision that I'm not seeing very clear, but I need to know what is in my highest interest, because my reasoning say one thing and my intuition say other one. So I'm kind of divided. I do this method. I write in a paper, like for example, option A or option B. I fold those papers and I mix it like this. I don't know which one is which. So then I ask to my guides to pull 3 cards of what will happen if I go for option A, and other 3 cards of what will happen if I go for option B. I'm still not see what is like in the papers. Like this, I see the cards and I take my decision based of the energy of the outcome of whatever that road it is. So like this, if I not see what is in the paper, I don't let my judgment or whatever outcome I want to take in the way. I'm just seeing the energy that is happening in the road A and the energy is happening in the road B. And then I let my intuition say, you know what, I like more the energy of this situation. I'm going with it. And then I open the paper to see what is that decision. So I feel so like this, you are not letting the cards take the decision for you. The cards are just showing you, the cards are just showing you what is the energy that choosing path A will bring you, choosing path B will bring you. You choose a path based on that, so you're just basically asking for more information to be doing more a conscious question.
Yeah.
So that's like something I like to do when it's about asking a question. And when it's about just a boost of energy or something like that, yes, in the morning I like to take it, because sometimes you can be very kind of foggy, especially when it's something emotional, like that you really like someone, for example, that is something that you are really emotionally invested and it's very hard for you to make a choice. I think so that one it can help you a lot. Or if the other ones can be simple, just like the energy of the day, what message I need to know today, you get your card and you keep it in your mind, because like this, if something happened later on, you remember that message to go through that moment.
Yes. So all of this is just talking about almost the exact same thing to me. It's like, it helps you, apologies, it helps you to bring to the forefront of your mind the most important questions that you need for the day. It's similar to like when you write a question for yourself in a journal and just leave it there with space underneath. Your brain is actively looking for the answers to that question throughout the day, but subconsciously. And then because of that, you're more likely to pay attention to and notice the answers when they actually come along, or at least a clue to what could be the answer. With the cards, they're not doing what the cards are telling you. You're actually just looking at them and then tuning in with your own intuition, tuning in with what you feel and think about it. And then you're going, okay, I didn't even realize that I felt that. Now I know. So you're actually using the cards as a tool to better understand yourself and how you feel about the situation.
Exactly. And many people doesn't, that is how the cards will read that. It's not about magic. Once again, it's more about the energy that when you are shuffling the cards, you are putting the energy into the cards. So that's how the cards can give you like an answer that you need. Because if you're even take a tarot, if you're in a very negative mindset and you're angry, all the cards that will come out, it will be negative. I kind of bet you that it will come negative. If you change your mind and you put like love, you see yourself in this love light and you change your energy and everything is nice, the cards that you ask, like reading your energy, they will come out nice. They will kind of love cards. because at the end of the cards, the only thing that they do, they read your energy and just show it to you in a paper.
Yes. So they help you to read your own energy.
Exactly. I'm just in that way. Like sometimes you can feel stuck in a situation that you don't really know how you're feeling about something. So you can ask to the cards, okay, what is happening in the situation that I'm not able to see. So the cards can help you to kind of see more. I don't like to use the cards in a predictive way, like this person will fall in love with me or something like that, because that you're asking about the future. And at the end of the day, the future can change all the time. It's like the cards will read what is happening in that precise moment. But if tomorrow that person that you are chatting with, he receive a message from someone else, maybe his energy will change, and that what the cards were saying, it will change. So for me, I like it to see them more in a evolutionary way that can help me to see whatever I'm not seeing in myself, or whatever decision I need to take at the moment that I'm not seeing.
So you find the cards most useful for current moment situations and current moment feelings.
Exactly, current moment situation, or like a short-term situations. Like something will happen like immediately future, because long-term future, it could tell you something, and maybe it will happen that way. But if something else kind of life happen, that energy will change, because you're asking as well especially when you're asking for when other people are involved. At the end of the day, each person has their own freedom.
One thing I also really like about them as well is, of course, they're incredibly useful in the present, but I think it's similar to like when you ask the question poke and poke, pot and poke. I haven't quite got that one yet. Pot and poke. So it's similar to that in the way that you might draw cards about the future, and they might actually, especially with someone facilitating it, they might open your mind to potential futures. So it's like they also might help you to imagine a potential future for yourself that you didn't necessarily imagine before, right?
Yeah, at the end of the day, like they can be very powerful too. They can show you things that you are not even considered. That's why I like kind of the option. What happened if I go option B, option C, or option D? Because like this, you open yourself to more opportunities that when your mind is telling you. At the end of the day, our mind just know whatever experiences we have had, whatever has learned through all our life, but it's not all the experience or not all the ways that we can achieve something. So when you open your mind to more ways, is when magic can happen and better ways can come. Maybe for you, it's amazing just to earn $3,000, and you say, with that, I'm happy. For someone will be like, that's a lot of money. But for other people, it will be like, no, that's not enough for me. So at the end of the day, each person has their own kind of ideas, like what they want. But at the end of the day, if you are just leaving yourself with your limits, then you are not allowing, maybe you are like getting shorter of what your potential is.
Right. So you're saying that if you limit yourself in the way you think, then you might actually, there's a saying, it's like shortchange yourself. Like you might not give yourself the full positive future that you actually could have had.
Exactly. That's at the end of the day, maybe for you earn $3,000, $4,000 is like, well, I will have a great time with that. But maybe your potential is to earn $7,000, is $8,000. So it's like, let yourself as well kind of, let yourself be surprised. Like I was training as well on the trip, like, but let yourself to kind of, you can have like a plan, but don't be stuck in that plan that's the only plan that I have, that's the only thing that will help, because that's actually limited beliefs that are very important. Actually, like people that is new in spirituality, it's very important to know which ones are or limited beliefs. For example, someone that wants money, and if they have a belief that if you have a lot of money will bring you a lot of issues because insecurity or whatever, that's a limited belief that you have in your subconscious, that sometimes even those beliefs are not even ours, are kind of our parents or grandparents, that they just pass generation to generation. And when you have those limited beliefs and you don't get rid of them, you don't change them, it will be very hard that the money flow to you.
Yes. I think we can get limiting beliefs installed in us through our environment, through the people around us, through the things we learn in school and in life. And oftentimes we limit ourselves by the things that we say. I guess the question I want to ask you is how do you change your limiting beliefs?
Eh, it's like it takes time. It's not just something that you do like, oh, today I don't believe in this, and then tomorrow it just completely change.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a practice that you have to be doing. First, you have to be very aware of your thoughts.
Uh-huh.
I think so. That's something very important. Many people cannot believe in the attraction law or the book of the secret. I understand that it can be kind of controversial, but something that book helped me was to keep attention in my thoughts, to learn how to know what I'm thinking, because we have like, I think so, like 57,000 thoughts in a day or something like that. Like, it's crazy the amount of
Mm,
thoughts that we are having. But if we don't learn to pay attention to what we are thinking, we cannot even realize that our negative beliefs. So first we have to start learning to see, to pay attention what we are thinking through the day. And after that, start like question yourself, okay, what is my beliefs about money? What is my beliefs about losing weight? What is my beliefs about finding a partner? Once you start writing the beliefs, you write what you want, what is your desires, and you see from what you believe what is stopping you to get that. Like, but you have to go very deep. It's not like in the surface level. It's more like kind of in a conscious level to understand. Okay, I remember I was doing this exercise with Carl, and he was like, no, I don't think I have a limited belief about the money. And I was like, but what about when you say that if you want a lot of money, it's because you are greedy? That's a limited belief that is coming from
of
your past
course.
generations, because you are giving the money the energy of greedy, when
Yeah.
you could give it the energy of I am ambitious. you know so if you are believing that because you want more money is you are greedy, then you will be subconsciously, you will be stopping yourself because you don't want to be a greedy person.
Yeah.
So it comes the same, like if I have a partner, he will be restricting me all the time, and I won't be free. So unconsciously you won't let yourself to find a partner because you don't want to lose that freedom. And even you could even attract people that is that in that kind of set mind, that they will be controlling, they will be getting lose your freedom, just to for you to reaffirm what you believe in. Say, okay, you see, I was saying that this partner will take my freedom. So unconsciously you attract those type of people to confirm what you are believing.
So you would attract people who would take your freedom.
Exactly, because like this, you say, oh, you know what, I was not wrong, and they are taking my freedom. So that's the kind of limited belief that you have to start detecting yourself about everything in your life, about losing weight, about how to make more money, about uh, how to get what is success for me. Like, maybe some people will believe that having success will bring to don't have time to do anything and don't spend time with their families, and
Mm.
that would be a limited belief, because then they cannot they won't want to get that in a subconscious level. Even they're working hard because they want success, but in a subconscious level they will be, no, but then I won't have time to have a family. Then kind of, yeah, I want it, but subconsciously I'm not sure if I want it because I am afraid of this.
Yeah. So let's use it as an example. So like from Eckhart Tolle's book, The Secret, you learned that it was important to pay attention to your thoughts as they're unfolding. Once you've paid attention to your thoughts, you would lean towards journaling them and writing down them, especially your limiting beliefs. Once you identified a limiting belief, like for example, what was one of your examples? One would be attracting a partner who would limit your freedom. Once you've realized that, what do you do then? How do you change it?
Well, you're gonna start like meditation, because at the end of the day, that's a belief that needs to be changed in your, like, we have to do as well. Not everything is just spirituality, magic. You have to detect as well what wants do we have, what need to be healed from our childhood trauma, because at the end of the day, we all have childhood traumas. We all deal with a childhood, and maybe sometimes not because our parents were like like mean parents or they were the worst parenting. It's just the way as a kid we receive things. For example, someone with the wound of abandonment, maybe the parent went just to the kitchen to get the food for the baby, but the baby was so small that in that moment if perceived like the parent is abandoning you. So every time that you feel this situation of somebody is abandoning you, you are going to that childhood trauma. And the problem that when you don't heal that kind of situations as well, it will be haunting you as well. So it's not just like everything is spirituality. You need to as well work in yourself and work in your wounds and your traumas that we have from our life. Because at the end of the day, that's what we are come to here, to learn by duality. So you have to experience that situation, but as well learn to heal it. And it will be bringing you to self-value, to understand what do you want, be more clear, and even erase your vibration. And once you are more conscious about it, even people that arrive in that way, you will be able to detect it and don't even lose time with them, and at the end of the day, you attract what you buy. When you start vibrating not from a negative side of put that I don't want a controlling person, because you are bringing the controlling person. If you focus in I want someone that allows my freedom, you are focusing on the freedom part, so you will attract more people in that way.
And
Because
you
at the end
also
of the day,
have
it's
to
kind
be
of vibration.
someone. You also have to be someone who allows freedom too, right? Like you have to live what you want, correct?
Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, you cannot say, yeah, I want someone to give me freedom. I'm just stuck in my house and be trapped about my, like, be a slave of my business, be a slave of. At the end of the day, you attract what you buy. And
Yeah.
in many situations, I think so that it's really, really important for us to heal as well with therapy. If some people cannot afford therapy at the moment, it's like very good books, even meditations that you can be doing to start starting healing at your time. But the healing part is really important to be able to kind of embrace yourself, love yourself, because at the end of the day, that's what we came to this life, to learn to love ourselves with our shadow side and with our light side.
And I think people have differing degrees of how much healing needs to be done as well. Like, I think a lot of people, this is just something I've noticed. I think people with more healing to be done might be more likely to lead towards a more spiritual mindset. That's just something that I've noticed along the way. I don't know if you necessarily think the same as that, but I've just thought like when it comes to spiritual practice, I've found that there's people who don't have as much healing to be done, it seems, and naturally don't reach for things like tarot, meditation, journaling, things like that, because naturally they've come into life with a bit more of a balanced approach to things or a bit more of a balanced level anyway, just from their upbringing or whatever it may be, perhaps slightly less traumas in their childhood. Do you think that, would you say that people with more sort of childhood trauma might be more likely to lead towards the spiritual lifestyle and engage in more healing or something like this?
For what I have learned and in my experience, it's not that much about the people with more trauma or not. Is depends of the evolution of the soul. Each life, and we are coming back now to this part of past lives. It's each life that we kind of incarnate, we want to live a lesson, and we choose all the bad things the bigger things that happen in our lives, like especially the negative side. We choose them before born. Actually, it's a very good book called the Soul's Plan, that basically
I've heard of this
explain your book.
before. Who wrote the Soul's Plan?
Robert, it's like a German last name.
Okay,
I know.
I'll look it up and add it in later.
Yes, exactly. Like I cannot remember his last name because like it's like the German names that they just put a lot of words, a lot of like letters in there, so it's kind of difficult to remember.
Got you.
But that book actually is really, really good because it tells you how all the challenges that you are living in this point in life, you choose them to learn something. Right now, maybe some people that they just came to learn more kind of third dimension lessons, and it's not their time to be spiritual, and that's fine. You know, each person will have, like, some people we came now like more kind of evolve, and it's their time to be, because we have already passed through the third dimension lessons, that we are now going to more to other dimensions like spirituality and learn more about this. So it really depends on what lessons you wanted to be learning in this life that will bring you more to the spirituality side, or some people it's just they don't want to learn the spirituality side in this life, and they need to learn other experiences first before arriving to spirituality.
Yeah. And so I'm a little confused about this one too, because one of my favorite books, The Alchemist. Have you ever read The Alchemist before?
A long time ago.
So one of my favorite books, The Alchemist, says that there's three types of alchemists. There's three people. There's the people who will never be like they'll never learn it, or they know about it, but they'll never really go for it. There's the second type, who are people who know about alchemy and change and will learn about it and do it. And then there's the people who were born naturally with it, and they have no need to think about it or do it because they were naturally born with the skills and talents of spirituality, let's say. So I wonder sometimes if the people who don't reach for it are either very, because some people would argue that they're like less evolved souls, but other people would argue that they're much more evolved because they have no need for it. They've done lots of work in some past life and they've now arrived at this place where they're level and have less need for spiritual work. I think it could go both ways, and it's definitely about perspective. And I feel like this is a very hot topic where people would agree and disagree quite strongly about it. I have a feeling you'd be more on the idea that everyone's on a spiritual path and it would be worthwhile for them to be engaging in spiritual practices. Would that be correct?
I like once again, I don't have the absolute truth, and this is just like for what I have learned, what I have is like a study. I did a course of past lives therapist regression last year, and what I have learned and study is more than is the first lessons. Actually, we all have going through situations of, we have been all murders, we have been all abusers, we are all been through like being prostitutes, like every kind of experience, because at the end of the day, imagine like the Matrix, you know, this is like the Matrix. Our higher self is the player that has the control of and choosing where to go, and we are just the avatar in the Matrix.
Gotcha.
So each life that we're having here, our higher self with a group of souls decide what lessons or what type of game we're playing now that we're coming to the Matrix. So basically, you will be playing this situation because you want to learn. You have to learn about what is mortality. You have to learn about what is being sick and looking after someone. You have to learn what is being the person that is sick and somebody be looking after you. You have to learn all these lessons. So basically, before you're born, you will go with your soul guides, and you will say, today I want to learn this lesson because in my past life I was trying to learn these lessons, I was not able to achieve it, and this life I really need to achieve it. So this is my plan. If I want to learn about what is to understand what is death, the only way that I can understand what is death is put in situations where people will die and I have to understand them. So you choose what is your lesson that you want to be, and then you choose your soul family that will be coming with you. So basically, you choose your dad, you choose your mom, you choose all that those people that are important for you to be part of you. You agree what will be the role that they will be playing, and that's basically what we'll have. Now that you have that free will, actually today I was hearing in a podcast that free will happen 75% more when you are planning this life. You have the free will to plan your life. Once that you are coming here to Earth, you have free will as well. But you already, like, if your goal is to to learn what is death, in your plan, in your option A, you will put, okay, my son will die, and with that loss, I will learn the lesson of what is death. But if my lesson doesn't get learned, and I really need to learn this lesson in this life because I don't want to repeat it again in the next life, I will choose a path B. That if I don't learn that my son die, I will as well. My husband will need to die, because like this, if I don't do it in the first round, I will have to do it in the second round. And you pick each kind of, like, if I don't go for option A, I go for option B. If not, go option C. And maybe each road start getting a little bit more difficult because you put it that way for yourself, because your soul, the only thing that wants is to learn the lesson of death. You know, so at the end that you have, when you are here, you don't remember anything of this, because that's part of the experience. That's part of why we are here, to learn to get the main point is to get to love, to understand any situation from the love point of view. You know, if the people I love just pass away, I understand that he's not gone forever. He's just in a situation, seeing it from a love point of view. So I know that this one can be very controversial for many people. Say, how I'm choosing to be having this kind of situation. Maybe 60% of the hard situation that happened to you, it was choose before you come to this life, and their situation can happen for your free will. That if you're saying, you know what, once that you are here in Earth, you say, you know what, I'm not interested, I'm not learning, I will get depressed, and I'm not interested to try to get out of this situation. You yourself plan other ways to make you kind of get out of that situation, because they really want you to learn. So that's when, I don't know if it has happened to you, like that the universe starts sending you message like, you should not come in, like you should do this way, and you don't want to pay attention to it. Then it comes like a harder warning, like this is not the right way. And I don't care. And then it's like a harder warning that is like, you really don't have to be here. You know?
100%. It's like you can keep going back to this thing you think you want, but eventually you get this message again and again and more stronger. And it's like, hang on a minute, like, just told you before, now I need to tell you again, but like, don't. Go and do the other thing instead. I've had it before for sure. I think for me, a good example would be, I've been getting like strict warnings about it, but like my intuition, I thought for years that what I needed and wanted to do was to go to Spain. But over time, the intuition and feeling and magnetism towards Spain has just becoming far less powerful. And as a result of that, it's starting to, my mind and my spirit is starting to naturally open to space for other things and leaving Spain behind. And it wasn't actually until I sort of actively was like, okay, I'm just going to let it go for a little bit, that I started actually getting presented to me more opportunities in the other directions, and that felt positive and that felt like something I wanted to do. I think sometimes we can potentially hold on to things for a little bit too long, and it can block our path. Thank you for listening to part 3 of our interview with Nash. If you enjoyed what you heard, please jump over to thinking.nash and give her a follow. Also, I'd love to take a moment to let you know that 76% of listeners who listen regularly have taken the time to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, or Apple Podcasts. If you listen regularly and want to hear more, then please help us out by subscribing, and we can continue to bring you more and more episodes. Remember to like or share it with a friend if it reminds you of them, and leave a review in the section below. Or, if you found the information truly valuable, you're welcome to purchase me a delicious cup of Make More podcast juice at buymeacoffee.com/betweenviews. I'll leave the link in the bio. I just want to give a shout out to our first supporter, MX, who shouted Between Views 3 coffees. Thank you so much. Finally, if you know someone who deserves to be interviewed or just have some feedback, then send us an email at betweenviewsbv@gmail.com or give us a message on Instagram. Thanks again, and see you soon. Between Views.